everyone, welcome back to our video. This is the part 3 of our daughter's journey through CHD. So today we're going to be talking about everything that she went through after she came home. We went through with her after she came home as well, and all our feelings concerned with this whole entire situation. Okay, so where are we starting from?
Well, one of the first things that my friends, families, and colleagues asked when we were discharged was, is everything okay? And despite what I wanted to say, which was, yes, everything is fine, the reality was different. No. She was stable. She was good enough to go home and not require 24/7 monitoring, but there was, with such a big thing like CHD, and especially with the complications that she went through, there were several things that we needed to do to make sure that she continued to be stable and recover. One of the things was the list of medications that we're discharged with. One of which was a 2-a-day injection. We still have the syringe, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have it in our Sharps container that for some reason we still saved, and this was it.
Yeah.
So if you can see it here, so basically
it's probably not a good idea to put your fingers in a Sharps container, but we know what's there.
Yeah, the tiny little needle, but apparently it still hurt.
Oh,
so,
yeah, every time I gave it to her. Yeah, that's right, I gave it to her.
Hey, I gave it too. Excuse me, you're not the only one.
She cried. And then there's also...
Cherry cried, not me.
I cried though.
I mean, I did it. I tried to do it as quickly as possible. And there was once or twice that I did make a mistake and I felt so horrible about it.
She bent the needle.
But it's a tiny needle, so it wasn't that bad, but still, I mean, she was also a tiny baby.
Yeah, and she struggled. So it was really difficult.
Yeah.
But aside from the injections, we also had to give her compounded medication. So this isn't... She was a baby, she couldn't swallow, so we had to go to the pharmacy, get them to compound it, which means they add water and make it shelf stable so that she can drink her medication.
And you don't get it immediately, so you have to wait at least 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, so it is kind of a logistical issue when we're down to our last dose, and then we're like, oh no, we need to get more medication, but it takes the pharmacy 2 days to prepare it for some reason.
So we had to keep track of it all the time just to make sure that we're not in that situation either.
Yeah. And then because we're in the hospital for so long, which we basically lived there, we were used to the 24/7 monitoring and the charting that the nurses did. So we did our own. I threw this chart together in Excel and basically replicated what the nurses did in the hospital.
Yeah, measured everything, right? Like the bowel movement, how much her bowel movements actually weighed.
So I can tell you on...
The first week that we got her home is this one, and we kept it as a memento.
So on April 14th, she had a stool, 92 grams, at 8:30 in the morning.
TMI though, so let's leave it at that. Basically, we measured everything. We measured her bowel movements, we measured how much she ate, we measured her weight itself, and then all her medication, what time we're giving, who's giving, everything. Like, we basically put it down so there was no confusion, there was no issue with any logistics of it.
So, obviously our therapist and the doctors told us not to do this.
But we did.
We did, because again, we're just so used to it, and doing anything less was kind of like doing Cherry a disservice. So, but
we felt
again,
very guilty about not doing what we were supposed to do.
But again, this is gonna go against what your doctors say, and don't do it.
Listen to them.
This is for our own sanity.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we were able to survive through the first month or two that we brought her home. We were so paranoid about every single thing. So this was our way of doing it. And then what? So, you want to talk about the NG insertion?
Yeah, so for a while, Cherry had difficulties feeding. She forgot her suck swallow
the ability,
instinct.
yeah, the ability to basically eat. They have it from the time they're born, but since she was sedated the entire time,
She was no, it's because she was NPO for such a long and yeah.
she was not eating, she was not doing any of those things for such a long time that she actually started to forget it. So we had to reteach her how to eat.
Yeah, she lost that reflex.
But before she could do that, the way we fed her was through a tube that was put through her nose to her stomach. This was a tube basically that went in. We saved one of each for us so we can remember what she went through.
And make this YouTube video, of course.
Make this YouTube video. Basically, this was the feeding thing. So we had to learn how to do that because we had to do that by ourselves at home. And unfortunately, I was too scared to do it.
So again, I did it. I did, and I completely understand. I did most of the painful things to our daughter. A lot of the injections.
Well, two things.
The NG tube insertion, the holding her for the vaccinations, being there for the X-rays.
Excuse me, the vaccinations. I was there. I did the X-rays and I did the ultrasound because he was at work.
It's okay. I understand. I'm fine. But yeah,
Don't change the narrative.
I'm not gaslighting you. No, okay. Anyways,
So gaslighting.
Okay, the point is that we were released. We were released without the NG tube. The day after, I had to do an NG tube insertion on Cherry.
So basically, he had to do that, the insertion and show the nurse that we can do it. Literally the day before, they told us she doesn't need the NG tube anymore and that she can go home without it.
Yeah, so for those who don't know what an NG tube insertion looks like, it's not fun. But the closest approximation I can say is go to Home Depot, buy some vinyl tubing and stuff it down your nose. It's
very uncomfortable. It's not as painful as you would think, but it is very uncomfortable. But if you do that, please don't, the tube thing, it will hurt, so don't do that, please. And then, so after we came home, obviously we were so paranoid. We couldn't sleep properly because we were always checking up on her, trying to see if she's breathing and she's doing everything that she's supposed to do to stay alive, that we decided to get an outlet. This was for our own sanity, so it's not recommended. The doctors actually told us we don't need it, but we decided to get it anyways, and we even checked it with the hospital oxygen monitoring to make sure that this outlet is actually calibrated properly and it works properly. And so that's what she every day, every night, she would put that on before she goes to sleep. So it gave us a peace of mind. Not to say I didn't wake up every hour anyways to check up on her, but it helped slightly. And then, okay, so I guess moving on from that, the other thing that gave us some peace of mind was her appointments.
She had a lot of appointments.
She had a lot of appointments. She had a cardiologist appointment. She had X-rays. She had ultrasounds that needed to be done to make
dietitians, pacemaker clinic.
Yeah, so all these things were a lot, but then we were happy to do them. We were happy to go to them because it just gave us a peace of mind when they told us it looks good. Everything looks good today. You know, it made us think, okay, for today we're fine.
Yeah. So the one of the other things was that Cherry was also she has mitral valve regurgitation. So this is one of the complications that she had, and despite everything else being okay, she was released with moderate mitral valve regurgitation, and this means that her heart wasn't pumping as efficiently, and there is a chance of heart failure. So obviously these appointments did us relieved our anxiety a lot when we went to when we went to the cardiologist, and she said, "Oh, she's doing all right," or she's recovering. It's lessening. The regurgitation is lessening.
Yeah. So one of the medication that she was on was because of this, the blood pressure medication, basically. Yep. Every time we went, the doctors checked, made sure the fetal echo looked good on her. But now, as she's getting older and she can move around, it's been more difficult. So I believe the next one is going to be sedated for her, because so that they can actually see exactly what's happening without her squirming around.
But yeah, the case in point here, going to these appointments really helped us with our anxiety. Mm-hmm. And she had a lot of appointments, which helped in the beginning, but now she's down to like one appointment every 6 months, which is good.
And hopefully, eventually, it will become once every year.
Yeah, because hospital parking isn't cheap, so I'm happy.
Funny. So how is she doing now? I guess she's doing good. I mean, as any toddler can go, she's very active. She's very sassy.
Just a quick note. Her saying she's doing good is a huge step, because when we were released, we always said she's doing okay. We were very afraid to be optimistic because we didn't want to jinx it. But now we can say that she's doing well. She's doing good, because she is. She really is.
Oh my goodness, those paranoia regarding these things. We were very superstitious at that point.
Oh, that too.
I mean, we wouldn't say the word good or anything above okay. We would never say that.
Yeah, forget excellent. Anything with a positive connotation was out the door. We just said we're always lukewarm at best, so she's okay.
Yeah.
She's all right.
She's doing better today. Like, I mean, we would never be excited about it. We just wanted to kind of keep it on a download. I don't know, just for us, I guess, just in case, because we're so superstitious about this whole thing, and we are not superstitious people at all to begin with.
Yeah.
But when it came to her, when it came to all the situation, we became extremely superstitious. Like, there were books that we wouldn't touch because we were so afraid that it's going to give bad jujubes, as we call it.
Yeah, I went to church.
I went to temple.
So, but anyways, yeah, Cherry's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
She's walking now. She babbles a lot. There hasn't been any indication that she has heart failure, so that's good.
She directs us. She demands from us. She basically tells us what to do. She's the princess of this household.
Yeah.
She has everyone wrapped around her little fingers.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, even though we said that she's doing good, she still has those appointments. She still has that slight issue still that they are all obviously monitoring. So we still have to go in and make sure she's okay.
So at minimum, there is always going to be a annual checkup with her cardiologist just to make sure everything's okay. And knock on wood, it continues that way.
Even her pacemaker, they're still keeping track of that. She has been doing okay with the pacemaker as well. She's not been needing it as much, but she's still going to keep it until at least she says that she doesn't want it, if everything goes good. But that is a big if. And then, other than that, she's very normal. She's slightly delayed in terms of her development, I believe, as in like walking and everything, but she's really smart, so she knows how to get her way through. Like, she'll point us to wherever she wants to go. She will basically do that all the time to get our attention. She knows how to get what she wants, but she's not started speaking yet,
which is her biggest concern. But I think it's okay. Again, considering what she went through, I think a little bit of delay to make up for the first 3 months of her life is perfectly reasonable.
I guess so. I mean, she's walking now, which I believe everyone says that they start like around 12 months, but she started at 15. But she's doing so good. Like, she doesn't like wobble a lot or anything. She just she walks.
So one day she started just trying to walk, and then a week later she's full on
like just walking,
waddling everywhere. So we're really impressed with that. She's also really good with obstacles. I took her to an indoor play place, and she was just climbing the foam ladder and jumping into the foam, or crawling into the foam pit. All these things that show that she has good motor skills, which we're really happy about.
And she loves playing with her blocks. Like, she can stack them up, and she makes like different structures with it. We like to call her our little engineers, just because we are engineers.
Runs in the family.
He's so impressed by it. Like, he's always trying to get her to make new things, and make her obstacle courses at home. So he's collecting all these boxes of her diapers to make into like a giant tunnel for her to go through and everything, which is so sweet and cute. And she thoroughly enjoys our attention. She loves our attention.
Yeah. So that's just to say that, yeah, she's doing well, is what we're trying to say.
Basically. So, yeah, I guess the thing that we should talk about is how we felt through this all.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that we're very anxious, very paranoid in the beginning when she was discharged. And afterwards, as we saw that, okay, the sky is falling and she's doing all right, for me at least, I started loosening up. I started thinking, okay, you know, I can do this. I can give her the injections, and then I can just the daily oral medication isn't so bad too. Okay, this is doable. It's no different from a normal baby.
Well, he's logical about it. Again, I'm not. When it came to her, I can't get over my paranoia. It is slowly starting to become better as time passes. So I just think that that's what it's going to be. But I'm pretty sure for the rest of my life, I'm always going to be scared for her. If not just for her heart's sake, but just for her. I mean, I guess that's what every parent does, right? So I think for me, I need more help. I need to be able to talk more. So that's why I'm seeing a therapist, and I'm trying to kind of make this video and put it out there, see if it helps me. Helps us, actually. We talk to each other about it. We try to be as open about it as possible, because there's nothing to hide about it. That's what it is, right? Like, that's what she went through. This is her journey, and then she came out with a pretty cool zipper scar, and she is like, she's here. She's living the life with us, and I am so grateful for that. So I guess
that kind of wraps things up.
Yeah.
Nothing else, nothing more to add.
So that's our 3-part video on her journey through her CHD life, basically.
Alright, so with all that said, thank you for listening to us ramble. So if you have any questions or comments, or just want someone to talk to, feel free to comment or shoot us a direct message. With that said, see you
in the next video. Bye.